You talk whenever you're ready, brother. So, that's a good way to start. Fucking teenager on his phone.
Just checking things, man. Busy.
So, Asa works at the coffee shop where I do most of my work.
Mm-hmm. And we've run into each other plenty of times, just here and there. He parks out back, say hi, he comes in, he literally sits right next to where I have to go every fucking second.
My favorite spot.
Mm-hmm.
And anyway, the thing about Asa is he works really hard, and I appreciate that. And he's very good at communicating, which a lot of people get nervous around other people, and I think it's nice to see a friendly face every day who I can, count on always being there. Anyway, Asa is 19.
Freshly.
Just 19.
Just turned 19.
And give us a little background on you.
I'm born and raised in Vermont, East Coast, right below Canada, right next to New Hampshire and New York, and above Massachusetts. That gives you a picture. New England. And I was born and raised there with 2 parents, 3 older sisters, and 2 dogs. Lived relatively, growing up, until I was, entering high school, middle school, I was in a house that was generally located more towards, my town where my high school was and everything, which is convenient because I could just whip into town real quick, and it'd be no problem until middle school came around, and then I moved to the middle of nowhere, the boondocks. We're talking, hunting territory, all my neighbors are Jersey folk who have their summer and winter home. So all my neighbors were from Jersey, so we only see them once or twice a year, which is pretty nice. But felt very isolated. And growing up with 3 older sisters, I think really helped who I am in terms of females, because they taught me, what girls like and what girls don't like. Found out a lot of what girls do at a young age. What a tampon was, what a thong is, all that stuff. So I was very just yeah, they had no limit. They would always. I was also the baby, so I was spoiled a lot from my parents after my sisters went on and moved to college. So when they left out of the house, I was given things that they weren't particularly allowed to have, like a gaming console. So I was pretty stoked. I was pretty spoiled, but and being the only guy. But it was definitely hard, only because being in such a small town. I grew up in a town that was about the size of my high school population-wise out here. So 2,000 kids in my high school. In my town, there were 2,000 people. So my high school, my graduating class in Vermont was 86, and out here it was 500.
Wow.
So it was a big change, especially, but with my sisters and how they raised me, especially with music too. I'd always go through all of their iTunes libraries and look for good music, and I'd always find something. And I feel like that also kind of raised me, as well as just my oldest sister was kind of a tomboy snowboarder, so I kind of got and she was definitely punk, Blink-182, Green Day, Sum 41, whatever you want to call it. I was definitely raised on that kind of shit, and I felt growing up I was definitely this punk ass kid. I was definitely into it, and my first concert was Green Day when I was 10, so I was fuck, it was, it was.
That's cool.
It was cool.
I saw Green Day back in the day. They were pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I also just after they all left, it was definitely different, because when they all left was when we moved to the middle of nowhere.
How much older are they than you?
So one's 10 years older than me, so she's 29. She's the oldest one. She's my half sister. The other one's 25, and the other one's 24.
Gotcha. So just 5 years older. Okay.
Yeah.
So that's a good number of years.
Yeah. So as I was entering 7th grade, my sister graduated. Nice. So I had no one I had no siblings in high school. It was pretty cool though.
But by that point, I mean, if you have I had a completely different situation. I'm the oldest of 3. Mm-hmm. It's me and my brother, the older, and then I have the youngest sister. So it's the complete opposite from your family.
Totally.
And I mean, my sister definitely learned a lot from us, but probably a lot different from the way that you learned from your sisters. So I think that's probably interesting.
Well, you and your brother probably taught your younger sister how to handle boys too.
Yeah, in a way. We were, I don't know. I was naive as a kid, man, and I was a little more harsh on my sister probably than I would have been if I had been wiser as a child, But I think we have a really good relationship now, and it's funny because a lot of the stuff I was harsh on her about, she's come back and thanked me for.
Oh, exactly.
So in a weird way,
Feel the
it
same
helped.
way.
You know what I mean?
Oh,
Because
100%.
I'd be like, dude, don't hang out with these cheerleader girls. They're a bunch of bimbos. They don't know what they're talking about. And then, and then a couple years later, she's like, all of them just completely ditched me, and I'm not friends with any of them anymore. And she's like, so she's learned through.
No, it's the same way.
Exactly. So
that's why I thank my sisters all the time. That's why I feel like I'm partially as mature as I am.
It's cool to be able to be open to learning. A lot of people don't really listen to what other people are saying. They have to go through the same shit over and over and over again, and then a lot of them never even learn that, even if they, for themselves.
True.
But anyway, so I think we'll have a quick conversation, but I really want to get a little perspective from you because you're younger. Like, how do you feel like the world is right now? Like, do you think that you're in a good situation being young and going into like the future that
Y'all are
with
setting
AI and like the status of the environment and the the economy and politics and all that stuff? I mean, I don't know how much you know about everything,
Mm-hmm.
but how do you feel about your place in the world right now?
Coming from Vermont, things were really simple, not very complex. It's a very simple way of being raised and growing up. And then moving out here was definitely a culture shock because everything was thrown at me.
Mm-hmm.
And being 17, having all these new ideas of shit, like, fuck, dude, in Vermont, no one, like, talked about zodiac signs and, like, stuff like that. And moving out here, I definitely had my own way of thinking that I was like, I know what I like, I know what I'm doing, like, I don't care. But it was to a point where I got so low that I was like, fuck, like, nothing's gonna work. I might as well just open up to, like, whatever these people are saying.
Yeah.
So, like, fuck, I mean, I now read things about, like, I'm a Sagittarius and, like, my girl's Leo, so I was reading about it and, like, like, it makes sense. And I had a really toxic relationship with, like, a Gemini. I was like, I don't fuck with Geminis. But also just, like, moving out here, people are also very open-minded too, which I really like. I'm a people person, and hearing what they have to say, even if it's something I'm not interested in, I'm still getting something out of the conversation because I know nothing about it. And whether it's their own opinion, like I want to hear about it because I know nothing on it. And the more and more I gather from different people, it's like I start to gather my own opinion.
That's good that you're open-minded because you definitely can learn a lot more that way for sure.
And that's why
you want to learn something like the more you can learn at a younger age, the more you'll be able to do within your lifetime.
True.
You see those people out there who are all, who are killing it, like Gary Vee and Joe Rogan and all these guys who are like really high energy and reaching their potential because they have that drive inside of them and they understand that they have to work hard to get there. They have to continue to like push themselves and reach that level of discomfort in order to like grow, So it's cool to see that you're open to like the growth. I like that because you always are, man. Every time we have a conversation, and you're quick too. I love how this guy is witty as hell, man. The joke the other day, the hot shower joke. Oh my gosh, your response was fucking brilliant.
What would I say?
The joke was one of my girlfriends sent it to me. She said, it says, "Why do women take boiling hot showers?
Oh yeah, fuck.
Meals gotta cook." His response was, It's fucking hilarious. Anyway, so this guy, he really is quick, and he's like very, I don't know, like aware, open to learn. I appreciate that.
Even open to like other things, but like honestly, like Nude Beach, I was like, I ain't fucking ever going there.
Why not?
Hear me out. Oh, at the time, I was just like,
okay.
I was just like, man, I can't imagine myself getting naked in front of a bunch of old men.
It basically is a bunch of old naked guys, but who cares? Like,
exactly.
Even if it is a bunch of old guys.
And I was like,
that's cool. I didn't know you even went there. That's funny.
Then I was just like, I need to spice things up in my life, and I feel like for me to move, like to like feel free in other ways, like I feel like this is a really good way for me to clear my head.
Honestly, that is one, and I never thought about putting those connections together. But when I met my wife, my ex-wife Valentina. She's Italian, and like when she found out when I told her there was a nude beach here, she was like, hell yeah, let's go. And I was so scared to be naked at first, dude. I was fucking 30 years old. I was like, I don't know how this is.
True.
And after a year of going out there, a couple times a week, it's like, it's the most liberating thing to just say, it's our fucking body. We all look the same.
Yeah.
What the fuck are people so scared about? And that, I think, shedding that layer sheds a lot of other layers in ourselves too. Yeah, there's a lot of walls up.
And it helps clear my mind too. Like
Totally.
I had nothing else to help clear my mind. I was, because I didn't want to use drugs, like, or just to distract myself. I'm like, been here before fully clothed. Why not try it fully naked?
Yeah, that's cool, man.
And it was tight. And I even like went the extra mile. And like I took some, like, Sid, and like I don't know if you ever met Sid. And
I'm sure
glasses, dressed all crazy and funky.
Mm-hmm.
And she had a friend named Isaiah who was here. I'm like, hey, you guys want to go to the nude beach? Like these two, like pretty much like not homeless people, but like all they would do is like ride their bikes.
Oh yeah, Sid, the glasses. Yeah.
Took her and another dude down there, and we all just like kicked it. Like usually I wouldn't want to do that, but like I don't know.
It's all good, man. That's cool. I've been there with guys and girls, and I've been there with like 6 girls at the same time, and it doesn't matter. Anytime you're there, it's just like it brings you closer to the people you're with, because you're just like, there's the barrier that just sheds that fear, whatever it is. Anyway, so real quick, because I don't really have too much time. I gotta get going, but where do you feel like your place is? Where do you, I mean, individually and as like a generation?
I feel like mine's like, because I'm 1999. I'm glad I didn't make it into 2000s, but I feel like through school and through life, we're like the guinea pigs of like generation. Like everything's being tested on us and like tried different ways.
The social media thing is really affecting your
For
culture.
It's like my age group and the one above us too, just a little bit. But like, I feel like I don't let like politics or what's ever going on in the news affect what my mission is in life, because I moved out here for music, and it's God's given me this talent to do music, and He's shown me love through crazy shit, so I want to spread my love through my talent, which is music, and just being a nice, genuine person. You see me with a bunch of tattoos, you think, oh, this kid's a punk. That's what everyone thinks of when they walk into Java, but I want to change that perspective for them, as well as show unconditional love to everyone. That's like my goal.
You know, that's funny you say that too, because I feel like the nicest people I've ever met are tattooed from head to toe.
Oh,
and it's such a weird thing that people have that thought that tattoos equal angry or scary or whatever it is, because I mean, I was taught that as a child, but then the more people I get to know, it's like, those are the real people. Those are the people who just don't give a fuck and are exposing themselves in a better way, you know?
When I'm laying down at night, I like to think I'm like here on this earth for like a really big reason.
Dude, that's such a good thing. Yeah.
Like a huge purpose because of how I was raised and like my upcoming, and you know, I think about like, oh, like I'm not the only one, but it's just like I feel with my story and my like who I am as a person, I can do really big things.
Dude, that's really important.
I don't like to hold that upon myself because it can't bring me down, but like I usually
live with use it as inspiration.
Exactly.
And don't be afraid of that. Accept that, because there are people who need to lead other people. There are people who need to inspire other people. And if you have an ability to do that, don't
utilize it.
Well, don't like hold it back from the other people. You're doing them a disservice, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And you're doing yourself a disservice by not taking that challenge if you feel that it's there for a reason, you know? I appreciate that too. I feel the same way, man. I've almost been killed so many times. I've been hit by 3 cars on my bicycle.
Shit.
Twice of those times I got knocked out badly. I've been in a subway. I had a knife held to my throat one time. I've been, you know, all kinds of crazy accidents.
It makes you thankful.
Dude, it does. And and equally as scary to me is like going through things like depression and anxiety and like the like processes of life and like growing and stuff, and that stuff is equally as scary and equally as impactful, and I think everything you can take from it is really important. Anyway, so yeah, it's cool to feel that you have a purpose. My thought is like, man, I've been through this shit. Like, there's somebody there saying, hey, fucking wake up, do your dues, you know, like stop sitting on your ass and watching the world go by, and like be that hero. Stop fucking
do at least something about it. Do something.
Because there's too much right now that has to be done. Because there's so much
For real.
out there for my generation, for yours. You know, I'm 15 years older than you, not that much, but there's a gap there.
Oh, for real.
And our generations are, we don't have a choice but to take over and start to like make a change with the amount of pollution that we're causing, the amount of love that we're giving and communication that we're giving to each other, because I think that's one of the biggest things we're missing right now. There's a detachment, man. Yeah, like there's no community. You don't know your neighbor the way that we used to anymore. I used to know every single person on my street, and now you don't know the people who live next to you anymore. It's insane. But probably because most people are renting and they have to move every couple of years. At least in this town. But anyway, so yeah, I think that's important to say, hey, like, take that step, make a change if you can, and try to make an impact, whatever way that is.
Want to know something? Like, I when I lay in bed, when I think about, I feel like there's so much just like, because like when I think of like the rap game, this is talking about owning like the most like expensive chain, fucking like the most like fine girls. Yeah, and it's just or that too, and it's just like I wanna. Like, I rap some of the same stuff, not, like, about that. I rap about, like, doing very dark things and, like, talking about, like, my own, like, mental stuff. But, like, I want to be able to infect, like, a part of the industry and bring in my love or, like, just, like, bring what I have to offer to kind of change things in a way. Like, I think about that, like, oh, if I just work...
Give me an example. What kind of lyrics are you talking about? What are you promoting?
I make lots of music, so I make lots of like slower sets. I'm just trying to think like for one. It's not my raps.
But what's
like,
your goal? Like, what are you trying to get out?
Reach out to people.
Yeah,
like
but that's the thing. Those sad songs are some of the most impactful too because they touch people. People will go through that shit, and they have to like when you're in that mindset. Sometimes going through those like listening to that music, it's like it's
channels
uplifting. Yeah. You feel better because of it. So
one of my things is like all I ever did with drugs and talk about myself in past tense. Here I am waking up to the same fucking gun in my room. Can't really sing it, but like all I ever did with drugs. Talking about myself in past tense, I'd always be like, I fucking did this, I fucking did that. Like I beat myself up over stuff I did. Waking up, a gun in my room. I mean, I have been suicidal before, but like, it wasn't that extreme. Like, just paraphrasing.
Yeah.
But my raps are even darker.
It's tough, dude. Yeah, that's cool.
But people always reach out to me like, "Yo, I heard your shit. It's good. Like, it hits, bro. Like, I feel you." And it's like, it's done my work.
Yeah, it's important.
I love giving other artists opportunities as well.
Yeah.
To get have their voice be heard.
That's one of the things I love about, especially rap, is rappers collaborate on everything. It's like every song is like 2 or 3 different rappers together. You know what I mean? I love that. It's fun. Anyway, thanks, dude. I appreciate you like reaching out and wanting to help out with this too.
I'm willing to speak about anything that I think I know.
Yeah, well, please do. And thanks for being open to learn too.
Got you, bro. It's an hour-long video you sent me.
I know. You have to watch the first 25 minutes is insane. It's pretty good though.
Alright, watch it in bed. While Rowan's sleeping.
Yeah, brother. Well, I'll talk to you at about 6 a.m. tomorrow morning.
I'm not working tomorrow.
Okay, well, I'll
Tuesday.
see you whenever you're here.
I'll probably be here tomorrow morning.
I won't be here 6 a.m. Tuesday. I'm going to be back later on Tuesday.
That's
Wednesday.
fine. I'm honestly still gonna get to see you every morning because honestly, like, walking past you just to go to like the back fridge is like honestly like not what I look forward to, but it's like I get to see Will.
Dude, thanks.
Because cool. I mean, like, there's good people there, but sometimes it's just nice to take a break and be like, hey, yo, Will.
Thank you. Appreciate that, man. That's good to know.
Enjoy your presence at Java. It's a positive presence.
Appreciate that.
I like to see, like, you're one of the first customers. It's like, fuck, yeah, Will's here.
What's up, motherfucker?
Well, yeah, no, I know, bro. What's up, motherfucker? Yeah. It's also just nice, also, because, like, we like people we like in the back. You park in the back.
Yeah.
Fuck with people who park in the back. If it's you, like, employees, it's tight.
Yeah. Thank you.
Got you.
I think I've earned my place in the back by now.
Yeah, right behind me sometimes.
Yeah. All right. Well, peace and love. Thank you for listening.
Everyone.
Hope everyone learned something.